Behind the Walls by Security Vision. Security and more. A whole lot more. Welcome back to our next edition, Behind the Walls. With Security Vision, we're back with Michele and Kyle. Hopefully everybody's doing well.
Yep,
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
So let's talk a little bit about seasonal things because sadly, it is hurricane season here along the coast of, well, I guess everywhere, but here along the coast of South Carolina. So I want to talk about a little bit about hurricanes and protection. I know you've been here, Michele, for a bit, and you've been through hurricanes.
Yes.
Kyle, have you?
I grew up in the coast of New Jersey, so we haven't had a lot, but we have had hurricanes.
Right. What do you remember?
I came here right after Hugo, so I've seen quite a few since then.
You didn't experience Hugo?
Nope.
I will never forget because I did experience, and my memory is I've never seen it so dark because when the lights go out and all the power goes out, it gets really dark.
Yeah.
And I was working at a radio station, and I had gone outside to get something from the van, and the guy inside locked the door because it was blowing, and he couldn't hear me pounding. That's the only time I felt a little panicked.
Yeah.
Hurricanes along the coast of South Carolina, we may not have one. We didn't have one last year or anything dramatic, but you never know.
You never know.
Because there are big storms that can cause some damage. So let's talk about hurricane protection in terms of Security Vision. What are some of the things you're able to do?
Well, we rep progressive screens, which they're known, otherwise also known as MagnaTrack. So with our outdoor screens that we can help somebody install to enclose their patios, decks, any kind of maybe a garage application where they're wanting to make their garage a man cave. These are screens that we can kind of put in place for people. And within MagnaTrack, they have a couple different series of the screens that we recommend. So you can do the solar, which helps reflect the sun, also keeps out the bugs. Then you could step up. They have a new one. It's the storm screen. It's not quite the hurricane screen, but it can help with a lower level hurricane. And then
the sort of things we probably will get.
Yes.
I don't know if I want to say tropical storm. Maybe that's a little strong, but there are some pretty healthy thunderstorms and
absolutely.
And if there is a hurricane somewhere in the Carolinas, you're going to feel some wind.
Yes.
So these will.
Yes, they will. So that'll cover your mid-range storms, stuff like that, where you can actually still be on your porch, be on your deck with the screens down, and it's going to protect, things coming at you and protect your furniture and the stuff that's within that porch. You don't have to worry about moving it and putting it on down and things like that. Now, the step up from there is they truly have the Defender series, which are your hurricane screens. Depending on the foundation, there's things that we may have to put in place, but it can handle up to a Category 5 hurricane.
Oh, goodness.
So,
which is 180 miles an hour or something? It's a lot. 150 maybe.
55,
I think it's 155. Yeah.
And we should point out that South Carolina has never had one.
Thank God.
That we know of. I mean, you go back before they kept records, but
yes.
Listen, a Hurricane 1 is no joke. Mm-hmm. That's a big storm. Mm-hmm. So when you talk about these screens, like at the early series, are you talking about literal screens or are they more like a door? Sort of describe what we're looking at.
So it could be a little bit of both. So ours have the MagnaTrack series is what it's actually magnets. It's rare earth magnets. It's a strong magnet that's going to be keeping these screens as they roll up and down. It's the only one that's also able to self-correct. So let's say, in a situation like an outdoor kitchen, and you may create a smaller space that has like a door screen that's it goes up and down. You can come in and out. And then you have your other sections that could have your bigger screen. So you can create one to be a door. You simply press a button to go in and out either way, as if it's a door opening.
But they're actually like a mesh.
But they are a mesh screen, like people would see. You can see through them. You can see what's going on.
Yeah,
it's going to reflect the sun. It's going to keep it cooler in the summer, as it'll reflect the sun. And then in the winter, if you add heaters, like we also help provide, it can also help keep it warmer because it's going to keep that heat in a little bit. Now, it is a screen, so it depends on the openness of your screen. And they come in different series. Typically, we start at the most open, being a 70% open. That's kind of equivalent, keeping your bugs out, blocking the sun. You want to see a lot more out.
Right.
And then if you step up into your storm, then you're going to be looking at more of your 90% opening. And then your hurricanes will be up into your 95% opening.
But the hurricanes are still screens?
They are still screens. Yeah. But they're
And
made
they will
with
protect?
They will protect. You could
So it's
shoot a
almost like
2x4 out of a cannon, and it is not coming through that screen. It's just going to bounce right back off, and the screen will move itself right back into place.
What am I looking at, though? Is it like a wall, or is it a little transparent?
Oh, you can see through it. You have transparency.
Wow.
You could see right through it. Yeah.
So it's a Kevlar wound screen with a weight bar that holds it in place, where the deflection of the screen can handle winds up to
And somehow that
155.
weight bar at the bottom is going to say, well, I guess you couldn't walk through it. You couldn't have somebody.
No, you can jump into it and still not damage it.
So it is sort of security also.
It's definitely, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you have a razor blade, obviously you can cut through it.
Yeah,
but as far as screen protection for hurricanes, it's fantastic.
Now, these are like the ones that'll fill a complete opening, but what if somebody wanted just regular protection on windows?
So they also make one that can go over windows for storm protection, as well as just a temporary situation that you could easily put up, or you can keep them up all year round in case you do want a screen, if you want to open up your windows and actually have that screen. But they do make one that is a fixed product, just instead of boarding up your windows.
Right, that was my thought. Do I want to go out and get plywood?
Right.
Got
Then
to
it's
mark them and which window?
Yeah, it's just a simple little frame piece that we would put above and below that window, and then when a storm is coming, they grab their screen and they slide it into place, and there you go.
Or you just leave it?
Or you could hire us to come help you do it.
Well, right. So how is the installation? How does this work? How complicated is it?
It's dependent on the situation. Most of them, we're in and out fairly quickly. If it's a second story or a third story deck that, we may have to get lifts or something like that, yes, it could be a little bit trickier, but, everything is doable. It's just a matter of how to get it done.
And I want to talk about where these areas are people, or should people consider. Now, certainly if I'm on the beach, that would be my first concern, but maybe that's not the most important. You get back a little bit. I mean, you can be living in Carolina Forest and it's still intense, and there's more trees and there's more.
Absolutely.
If you're oceanfront, there's no lumber coming through. Mm-hmm. Well, could be anything. What are some of the applications? Where are some of the places that this has worked well?
It works not only for residential, but also for businesses. There's a lot of restaurants and bars who are trying to extend the space, both to have that extra seating outside and people could be comfortable. So both in the summer, we can put in the screens and we can add our misting systems in there to bring that temperature down. So now if you think about the value this is to a restaurant to keep their outdoor space filled, because that's where people want to be, both in the summer and in the winter.
So it's the same screens.
It's the same screens. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And I've seen more and more restaurants doing exactly that.
Yes.
How do you keep them cool? I know we talked once before, but the misters idea is, it's not what I'm thinking, is it?
Probably not. No, because we are the product that we rep. We are the representative for South Carolina. So they are new to the area where we are bringing them in, where it's patented that you don't get wet. So you may have seen some misters out there, but if you sit too close, you're going to get wet. Your hair is going to get wet. Your phone might get wet, right? So the placement of how we work things, we would put them into place where it would mist and cool the area and bring the temperature down in the environment, depending on the situation or how many spacers we have space them out in there. But it'll bring it down 10 to 15 degrees within that
that's
area.
a lot.
So, yeah. Anything you want to add, Kyle?
Yeah, so it's not really a typical mister. It's more, it atomizes the water molecules less than a red blood cell. That's how small these are. So that then you can be up to 3 feet away from it and put your hand directly on it and not feel moisture. It just, the mist is so fine that it just cools the air.
So if you put your hand up, it just feels cooler.
It just feels cooler. Yeah. And it has a high speed fan that you can, set just as far as you want to blow and how much you want to cool it down. So that's really the difference. So it technically, everyone calls it a mister, but it's really not a mister. A mister has a bad connotation because it sounds like you're going to get wet.
Yeah, you say mister,
what I mean?
and I'm thinking like...
Yeah. Wow. So it's, and if you say an atomizer or vaporizer, it's kind of like...
Yeah, vaporizer sounds science fiction.
Yeah, exactly. So it's technically a mister, but it's not really a mister.
It's more of a cooling system.
Yeah.
So it's somewhere between mister and air conditioner.
Yes.
And you mentioned that for businesses and patios and restaurants especially, but do you do it for home?
Oh,
patio?
absolutely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I just want to bolt on to getting back to the screen protection.
Yes.
So obviously in Myrtle Beach, we have a lot of golf courses. So we put these screens almost as protection for people getting hit with golf balls.
Yeah.
Instead of the big screens, the big nets that they used to put up, they'll just put up, say if their left side of their patio is facing, the tee box, they'll put that screen up because they don't feel like getting pelted with golf balls anymore.
Not that ever happens.
Yeah.
So what's the process to do this? And, it's quote unquote hurricane season, and maybe there's a hurricane coming and maybe not, but clearly you don't want to wait till there's a named storm.
Correct.
But what's involved? How does this work? If somebody says this is something I would like to look at, even if it's just for the comfort of my outdoor living.
Well, the first step is, give us a call. Me or someone from my team would come out and we would take a look at the space, take our measurements, see what it would take to do it, put together a free proposal for them to evaluate, think about. And then once upon approval, we could get those screens ordered. They do take a few weeks to get in. So no, you can't wait till a storm is coming, that we can't get them in that fast. Everything is custom because it is a custom size. So they do take a few weeks to get in, but we could start soon and get you protected before the storms start coming.
You may not know the answer to this, but will it help your home insurance?
So if you actually do a true hurricane screen and we go through the steps of what it takes to be certified hurricane, it absolutely can.
Okay.
And so all the prerequisites that we have to do to install a hurricane screen are based on Florida code.
Okay.
So South Carolina may not have as stringent as code as Florida because they experience hurricanes
but if you're
quite often.
Doing it according to Florida, you're going to be in good shape.
Exactly.
But talk to your homeowner's insurance ahead of time if that's something that's important. I mean, I know people, for example, they like their home generators. And, when I've had homeowner renewals and they're saying you need to cut back that tree, you need to fix that thing. So certainly it's worth asking.
Absolutely.
Well, we love talking about all of the things because security vision is a lot more than just security. And we'll talk about more of that coming up on the next episode of Behind the Walls. Michele and Kyle, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.